So now I'm going to shift now to Texas because it's another Super Bowl election and we keep our foot on the gas because our democracy is at stake. So just a little bit of things, I haven't focused that much on Texas myself, but one point to make is that it's actually a majority minority state or minority majority state. The Anglo population, according to the US Census, is actually a little less than 40% of the population. So that's not the voting population or the registered population, or actually the turnout is more among white. And there are liberal white voters in Texas. So, but this is the direction that's going. And, my sense is that the Latino voters are actually much more motivated this time around and there's a fair amount of Asian voters who, my understanding, tend to be pretty economically, and they're diverse, of course, but a number of them are shifting our way as well. One other reason we need to get into Texas, and this is a general point, this is the projection of what's going to happen in 2030. So Texas got 38 Congress people now. They're going to have 42. And notice Florida. Notice losing ground in California and New York. And we have to move. We have to compete in these red states or reddish states. And now's the time to do it, in my opinion. So just a little bit about the Texas race. Some of you may know this, and I drew a little bit on the latest. It's one of the university Texas A&M poll that looked pretty good. Most recent poll I could see. Paxton, people know about him, the Attorney General, probably crooked, been indicted, and so forth. People don't like him. His net favorability is minus 18, and the absolute is 52% of Texas voters by this poll do not like him, whereas our guy Tellerico, positive. He's got a really good shot. But of course, part of what we're trying to do in supporting these legislature races is to get more Democrats to turn out that they'll vote Democratic up ballot. And then here we have this is a Super Bowl. They have all these other offices, Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, and so forth. The governor, Abbott's not particularly popular. He's got a lot of money. We have, I think, a really good nominee in Hosa. She's got really good favorability. A lot of people don't know who she is because she's been a state house member. But I think once she gets out there, I think it can only go up a lot from there. So it's a great package in Texas. So what we're doing, again, we're doing what we call going for the gold, which is, and I'm going to go through the math. I hope I got this right, Gene. There are 150 House seats, 62 incumbent Democrats. And again, because of gerrymandering, almost all of these are very safe seats. So there's four that they need to depend, they're telling us. So you've got a set of candidates that are challengers. We want to go for the gold. So there are three that are in a better position that we're not planning to support. We're going to support the next 12, which, if everything falls into place and we know it's aspirational, that would actually be a 77 seat majority if everything works. But however much we do, it'll actually help a lot to change the complexion of the House and boost the up ballot races. So here's our map of those 12 candidates at this point. And like many states, it looks to me like the major battleground is sort of the suburban, exurban areas, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. A lot of diverse, younger people, more educated people moving into those districts, and those are really prime districts in my view. So, what is this local social media that we're talking about? Well, basically, it's Facebook, Instagram, and to some extent, TikTok. And you may not like Mark Zuckerberg, but these are still very good instruments that we need to to use. And because they have really good voter targeting, both geographically and some other ways, it's inexpensive, and it fills a gap. So it turns out we've sort of checked out the campaign situation in Texas, and just like in Iowa, the folks there feel like this is a particularly good thing for us to be supporting that will sort of fill the gap. And what we do is we don't pay for training, and then we actually pay for what's called boosting, so that you get better distribution of the organic stuff. That you can do your own Facebook organically, or you can also pay to get much better distribution. So, what are we asking of ourselves and asking for you? Well, Texas is a big state, and we're, hot on the heels of our success in these other states. We're, gonna kind of go for the gold with $200,000 goal. And it's going to be, again, we will fund it through the Texas House Caucus, which we think is a much more coherent and efficient way to do it. Again, we're using oath as we have the last two fundraisers. And not surprisingly, we will be putting the donation link in the chat for people to donate, which is an oath link. And we are going to have a fundraiser sometime in late July. And we don't exactly know because we're trying to see if we can line up a particularly good speaker for that. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Leader Wu, who, as we know, is really a hero for helping to lead this walkout in the Texas House to delay at least the reapportionment, the gerrymandering that the Republicans have done. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to him.
Thank you so much, Jim. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and really appreciate everyone's efforts in helping out. Again, my name is Gene Wu. I'm a state rep out of Houston, Texas, as Southwest Houston for those of you from the area. Um, but my other job is that I'm also the leader of the Texas Democrats in the House, and that's exactly as difficult as that sounds. But look, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we did last year, why, and how it relates to what we're doing now. So if I look familiar, it might be because in 2025, I was on TV like nonstop for about 2 weeks when the Texas Democrats broke quorum and went to Illinois, Chicago to be exact, and basically blocked Trump and Governor Abbott's efforts to rig our system, to cheat our democracy, to steal our elections, and to do things that just a few years ago we said were beyond the pale, were unethical, were illegal, unconstitutional. But now that we have a United States Supreme Court that is happy to bend the knee to the sitting president, um, we knew that this was in great danger and that if we didn't do something, that this would spread across the country because, being from Texas, we've gotten used to the idea that every single terrible, monstrous, unethical, illegal, immoral, discriminatory idea starts in Texas, is tested out here, and then spreads everywhere else. And we didn't want to do this. We didn't want to break quorum. It didn't sound like a big deal for most people, but you understand that in Texas, we can't work and we can't raise money during the time we're in session. We had just gotten out of a brutal legislative session. And so most people wanted to go home. We haven't seen our families for months. We haven't worked. We haven't earned money. And so this was a hard thing to do. And not most importantly, we had broken quorum in 2021 over the same issues, right? And that time in 2021, we broke quorum, went to Washington, D.C., and we got punished for it. Our voters took it out on us. They didn't appreciate what we did. They didn't understand what we're doing. And we lost two members of it because of it. And so we were pretty hesitant to do this. But no matter what we thought of it, we understood what was going to happen if we didn't react. We know that Donald Trump has no boundaries, that he doesn't care about our democracy, our system of government, or our society as a whole. He's going to do what benefits him, no matter how much destruction it causes. And so we had to put at least slow this down. We had to try to stop it. We had to warn others. And, this was a hard thing to sell to our members, but I think everyone agreed in the end, like, look, we have to try. We have to do something. We cannot sit around and do nothing. There's too much at stake. And there's too many things that we know about that other people do not understand that we have to warn them what's going to happen. And so we did it. And it was not fun. I know it was only 2 weeks, but this was like a brutal time. Not only did we work incredibly long hours, my staff and I probably did numerous 17, 18, 19-hour days repeatedly, back to back. But more than that, it was dangerous. In the state, the governor called the state troopers on us and sent them out to find us. They sent people to come harass us at our homes. Even the people they knew were out of state, they still parked patrol vehicles in front of their homes to harass their families and do all those things. People went to people's schools, went to their workplaces, even though they knew we were out of state. And John Cornyn called the FBI on us. People called, the crazies called even crazier people on us. They sicked vigilantes. Militias came after us. They doxed our location 3 times. We had to go to multiple hotels. They sent in bomb threats to 2 different locations. And not only that, the threats were violent. They threatened to kill us, have us arrested, dragged in the street and shot. People sent pizzas to our houses in the name of the Minnesota shooter. My son opened the door for ours. So this is, as you can imagine, well beyond what is considered normal politics in our country. And all of it was beyond the pale, was way over the line. But it was necessary because we could not stand by and let one man destroy everything that we've worked for. That everything this country stood for, everything that we believe in the American dream, we're not letting them steal that from all of us and steal it from my children. So we broke quorum, and I think we did what was, I think, impossible. That in 2 weeks, we convinced Americans to care about the most boring issue in politics, redistricting. And I don't think people fully understood, even to this day, understand what is going on exactly, but they know cheating when they see it, right? They know lying and stealing isn't good. And this is what it is. And in that short amount of time, I think we helped change the minds of people in places like California, where Prop 50 polled at about in the low 30s before the quorum break. And when it finally passed that fall, it passed by 67%, right? Or Virginia didn't want to do theirs, but we brought a very clear call to action to them. Maryland last year did not want to do it at all, and now, like, they've realized what it is. So we still know that we are living in bleak and dark times. But I am here to tell you that there is light, that there is still hope. People ask me, why, how are you able to do this? How are you able to persevere through this? How do you deal with people like public officials calling for me to be arrested? Public officials calling for me to be denaturalized and deported, right? Public officials who call me a Chinese spy, who are openly and aggressively telling people to come get me. I do it because I still have hope. I do it because I believe in Americans. I believe in us. And this is what I see. I see Democrats who have learned the lessons of the past finally, who have learned to not go after and chase after the shiny things the Republicans throw in front of us, tell us that's what we're going to talk about. We reminded Democrats that what they are about, what they are here for, what has made us strong in the past, what made America great was us, was a strong, robust middle class. The working people of this country is what made us great. And we need to go back to that. This is a call to action for everyone. If you say you love something, the only condition that is there is that you are willing to sacrifice for it. There is no love without sacrifice. If you love America, sacrifice for her. Let's go.
Great. So thanks so very much for that inspiration.
Thank you.
We're now going to shift to Q&A, and Adele is going to do
Start us
that.
off.
Maybe Adele, I could go ahead and ask my question.
Yeah, you ask your
What-
question. Just a minute before you do that. So if people have questions, put it in the chat and then we will take them in order. Thanks. Go ahead, Jim.
So earlier on, we were talking about your prospects of winning seats in the House. So tell us what your perspective is on that, please.
Yeah, so we are right now 14 seats away from the House. So the House is 150 members, as we said earlier, and we need 76 to take control. We are 14 seats away from that. So as a little background, in 2018, that was Beto, and that was the first Trump administration midterm, right? We unexpectedly pulled in 12 seats from the Republicans. Just no, we didn't spend any money on them. We didn't really organize for it because we weren't expecting that we would make any headways on that year. We picked up 12 seats without expecting it. Republicans didn't know it was going to happen, and bam, the next session they come back, they're like, we're ready to expand Medicaid. We're ready to put anti-LGBT protections in the law, and all these other things that the Democrats have wanted for a long time, and they would always block. Right? And then 2020 rolls around, we lose after expecting to win, and then they go the opposite direction. So right now, in 2024, there were 20 Republican House seats that Donald Trump won their districts by less than 10 points. Okay? So Donald Trump won those 20 seats where Donald Trump won by less than 10 points. I don't know where we're going to be. But the special election that we just had in SD9 up in Fort Worth, which is a bright red, like beet red Republican area, that was a 17-point Trump district, 17 points. That district flipped 33 points. Okay? It flipped 33 points to overwhelmingly elect a Democrat on a special election that Democrats are already underperforming. So people ask me for predictions. I don't do predictions. I don't know, because like my superstition is that in all the years that people have asked me for things, I make predictions. No matter how reasonable that prediction is or was, the opposite would happen. So I'm going to stop saying predictions, but I'm just going to tell you, we need 14 to win the House. 20 of those 14 that we need won their districts by under 10 points in 2024. And we just flipped one district 33 points. So I don't know if that 33-point flip is going to work in every district, but I don't need it. I mean, half of that would get me where I need to go. So, I think there are lots of people making predictions, and they're all over the place. I don't think any of them are accurate, because I think this election of all elections is going to be very unusual. I think the turnout for this election is going to be insane, because I think Americans finally understand what they're fighting for. I think they understand that the reason we are here today is because you have not participated and been a part of this in the past. And that's how you let them get away with this because you didn't pay attention. So I think everyone's paying attention this time. So any money that is raised for our House seats will be greatly appreciated. And then this is why. We Democrats in Texas, we're used to being outspent 5 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1. We still win. We can handle 10 to 1. We just need the 1, right? And it is hard for us to raise even the 1, even especially right now, and because all the money's going to James. But I didn't say that. But look, a lot of these House races that we're trying to help are like down ballot races that nobody's looking at. And their opponents have hundreds of thousands of dollars. They may only have a couple of grand in the bank, but if we can get them 10 or 20 in the bank, they can go gangbusters. Now they can print out materials. Now they can get block walkers. Now they can go knock on doors more often. I mean, like I know on the East and West Coast, spending a lot of money on campaigns is normal, but here, like we don't. Our state House races are like $100,000, $200,000. Like a really really big race is $300,000. So a lot of this will work. I mean, like the contribution you guys are planning to make, the 200,000, that will go an insanely long way. Because right now, what we're doing to make things a lot better, we're trying to be economical. Instead of just giving money, instead of just writing checks to people, we're hiring bulk campaign managers, like people who know what they're doing. So like a lot of the districts in like bright red districts, they don't need a full-time campaign manager. There's not enough money. There's not things to do. And so we're hiring like one campaign manager to work 5 different districts to make sure that those seats, even if they can't win their House seats, do everything they can to boost overall turnout so maybe James and Gina and everyone else can win, right? So a lot of these rural communities have never had a Democrat run in 30 years. And they're like 90% Republican voting because there's no Democrats running, period. And just by having them out there, if they can take that 95% Republican district and take it down to 85 or take it down to 80, we do that in like 4 or 5 different places, we win statewide elections, baby. Right? And that was essentially Trump's path to victory in 24. Their game plan in 24 was lose by less. Like their stated plan in 2024 was lose by less. Just everywhere that we fight, just lose by less. You can still lose, but lose by less. And that's what Democrats need to start doing in Texas because that's.
So thanks again to Gene.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I got to get off and I got to go take care of the kids.
Okay.
Thanks for having me on.